Hi, Thumos. Welcome back. Hope you guys are feeling well. It's Sunday, so this is going to be just a quick talk about addressing some of the things that we may start to believe that are actually holding us in the same place. We're not getting any further. And I really started thinking about this because I had the unique opportunity to speak to a lot of guys, like a group of men. And what I realized is that there was a lot of things that were being repeated and it seemed inauthentic. And I do this myself, that things that we just hear from YouTube and various channels and different sources, it was just being repeated without actually being understood as to why. And it seemed like we didn't even really believe it. And I understand though, because we're all searching. We're trying to find truth. We're trying to find that next thing, that piece of wisdom that gives us an advantage, that gives us something, gives us more power, more focus. And what I really believe is going on is that there's too much. And by having too much, we're not actually getting anywhere. And so what I want to tell you guys is, look, there's a lot of this advice like go no fap, quit caffeine, dopamine detox. You see that super popular right now in the algorithm. Everyone and their mama's dopamine detox. I even did that a little while ago. Fast, do this, cut out this. You know, it's just like, Jesus, it's all of these things you're trying to do, like additional things you're trying to add on. And what is wrong is that those things don't actually give you results as far as like it doesn't change the external environment. So what I mean by that, because I know a lot of people are like, whoa, they got their knives out, they're like, you know what I mean by that is that, let me use this apartment as a metaphor. In order to move here, I had to first look up apartments. And then I had to pick up the phone and I had to call. And I had to schedule a meeting. And then I had to get my shoes on. I had to drive over here and I had to meet the lady. I had to walk around. And I had to say, okay, this is nice. This is a good apartment. Wow, I like this. And then after that, I had to call up a U-Haul. I had to schedule a time to pick up the U-Haul. And I had to load all this heavy furniture. And it was like, oh, this is awkward. This feels like shit. I don't ever do this. Well, I got to do it today. Just got to focus, got to really commit, moving everything in here. Had to clean the other apartment, had to, really like do some intense cleaning, and then, just an array of things, multitude of things that I have to do that I never do, that are not anywhere near anything that anyone on YouTube is going to tell you. Stuff that doesn't feel good, just life, life happening to you. And that's what I'm saying is life is so much different and random than just like what you can learn from a video or even from most books. Life is going to teach you a lot of things just by going out and trying to conquer, trying to achieve, and working towards something. And so many of us are trying to do a bunch of stuff, but it's to no goal. It's just to maybe have a little bit more energy or to feel better or to feel like we're doing something. But the biggest thing is that most of us are at home with our parents. Most of us are not in a really strong, loving relationship or have a strong community around us to bond. Most of us are not progressing and feeling like we can be a protector for a family or to defend them. And most of us are really not increasing our actual like wisdom and knowledge and truth anymore. We're not really learning. All right, it's just kind of like shallow learning. It's kind of just like, it goes in one ear and out the other. And so those four things are really innate human desires. They're the drivers. They're what drive us forward. And you got to start aiming at those, man. You got to start aiming at them. That's all I can say. Because if you don't aim at them, you're gonna be very unfulfilled, and you're gonna realize like you just been doing the same thing. So you need to move out. You know, like if you're at your parents' house, you're over 18, you got to move out. If you want to actually have a nice relationships, you can't theorize about MGTOW any longer. You don't want to theorize, is it good or bad to get married? You don't want to do any of that. You don't want to worry about saying affirmations or any more like all of that stuff. You just want to like have some goals, and you want to go after those goals and intensely. And that's going to cause you to do stuff that doesn't really have a set formula. It doesn't have like, okay, start here, do this. No, sometimes just picking up the phone, sometimes just jumping in, getting uncomfortable, like handling your awkwardness or your lack of confidence. Like, you guys might think I'm super confident. No, I'm like naturally not confident. I'm very nervous in a lot of situations. But I just kind of, I know that I'm not going to die. And I know that it's okay to be a little embarrassed. And when you get in those situations, that's the greatest teacher. So I'm not worried about, doing everything perfect. I'm more concerned if I'm going to step up or not. Because there was this time, I remember very clearly, like back in high school, teacher asked me to read. And I felt so nervous that I didn't even read. And so all I had to do was like read a little sentence. But instead of reading the sentence out loud in front of the class, I like raised my voice and I yelled at him. I was like, no, I'm not reading. And I'm like, I like kind of was like very weird, I was like, because I was so embarrassed. I clenched up instead of just, okay, just read the sentence. Even embracing the embarrassment, was always worried about what other people thought about me. Okay, so you can't be stuck in that, dude. You just gotta like go out and try to conquer, try to achieve. Okay, and that's it. That's how you're gonna get the most fulfillment. That's how you're really going to make improvement, by getting results. What does it say in Fight Club? Self-improvement is masturbation, self-destruction. Now that's the key, right? Because you kind of destroy yourself. You get out there when you're loading up a couch, you're kind of like, all right, come on, up. You're kind of like, you're embarrassing yourself. Your ego's taking hits. It's not this perfect thing that you've built it up to be, and that is so important, and that's crucial in this day, is that we have young men and just men in general that are going to go out and go and discover, get sharpened up by life itself, and not just by all of this theory. Okay, so again, have some goals. To wrap this thing up, have some goals, and realize this is coming from this book right here, Driven. You want to the drive. These are things that drive us, and so your goals. You can write this down. What do you want to acquire? You want to move out of your parents' house? Because you're not going to get anywhere with your mama doing your laundry, cooking for you, and your dad yelling at you all the time. I mean, you got to move. That's how you're going to discover yourself. Move out of the house. That should be a goal at least. Even though it's these crazy times, it's a goal. The drive to bond. You want relationships, whether that be with a woman or having some friends or whatever. I don't care if you're gay, whatever it is. But you want to bond. You want to have good relationships, dude. So stop looking for all these tips. Like, you got to go and see if you can say hi. And if you live with your parents' house, how are you going to bring back a girl? Are the logistics even there? So the desire to learn. You want to keep getting smarter. Actually know, and not just like regurgitate stuff that you hear, but actually know. And the best teacher is life. Books can kind of give you that. But again, life will teach you a lot just by jumping in, just by trying. And the desire to defend, be strong. Be strong, keep yourself in shape, and give yourself these opportunities, protect your family. Like, if you're not going towards these things, then it's you're probably going to be very unfulfilled. Okay, so I want you guys to think on this, set some goals for yourself, and let's go towards them and crush them. I'll see you guys very soon. Peace.